Hi guys, today we'll be going over categories in our inventory and how to implement that. Right now, as you can see here, I've got an all, a misc, and usable armor, weapons. It's hard to read on some of these. But I picked up a sword and a mana potion here. And whenever we click misc, it'll just switch to that, and weapons just a sword. All is all of them. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and show you how we started doing that. First off, go into the content browser here, and go ahead and make just a couple copies of the master item blueprint, and change their icon so that way you can differentiate them in the inventory. And I would change the static mesh just so you can tell what you're picking up. Like I said, just change the icon and name, and then the static mesh of it right here. Change that out. Okay. After you've created all three of those, next you're going to create an enumeration. Call it item type. It's going to be in the blueprints enumeration. Name it the different types of items that you want. None, misc, consumable, armor, weapon is what I have at the moment. After that's done, go ahead and go to the like the widget blueprint of the inventory. And on this function update here, go ahead and actually first off, in the function update, go ahead and add another input variable and change it to the item type that we just created. The enumeration, just call it item type sort. This is what we will be sorting by. So remember, this is how we create the inventory. This WB inventory blueprint update is updating everything that's in here. Get all the inventory slots variable here that we've array that we've created in a previous video, and drag off of it and get a clear. This is just going to reset everything. Since we're sorting it, it's going to have to clear everything that we had beforehand. So that's what this does. Out of the for each loop, get a class reference for the class defaults. Get the item type. Get an equals enumeration. So it's going to be equals enu right here. And you're just going to drag the one that we're sorting by. And I'll show you where we're feeding this in just a second. But this item type that we're sorting by, we're checking to see if it's the same as this item type in each one of all the items that we have in our inventory. You're going to collapse this function, make it a pure function. This equals enum, just collapse it, and this is where we're going to kind of sort out everything, make it a little bit more detailed. So we're seeing if this reference, it's in a loop here, so it's seeing that if this first reference and the next reference, next reference, blah blah blah. But the first reference, it's going to see if the item type is of the item type that we've sorted by, right here, and it's going to switch on each one. So if it's none, if the item type that we are the item type that we're sorting by is none, then it's just going to go ahead and create all of it, because none is for everything, right? If it's misc, consumable, armor, weapons, and that item fits into there. So yeah, if the item type was just none, doesn't have any of these extra ones, it's just going to go immediately and create it into the none category. If the item type is the same one that we're searching by, then we're going to go to this condition, and if it's any of these ones, then we're going to create the slot. If it's not any of these ones, it's none of the ones that we've made, so we don't know what this item is, and we're just not going to create a slot for it, because it shouldn't be in there anyways. It'd be throwing some errors. So yeah, so then that's this branch here. Make sure you get a branch here, so check and see if the item's slot type that we're sorting by is the same type in that item, which I'll show you where that will be. And the mana potion, you can go up to the top. I'm going to go to mana potion itself. And right here, this item type is where we're talking. So if you just select it as none, it'd be the other ones. Any of these other ones, it's going to do that check. And if it's none of these, it won't create it. Let's go back. Yes. Yeah. So yes, if it's not any of those, it's just not going to create the slot. Okay. Do the check. And then run the rest of the things that we had already. Check to see if items in a stack. If it is, then we don't have to create an individual item each time. Awesome. So that is the main functionality of how it's checking. Next, we're going to go to the designer part for it. Let me go ahead and delete this because this is just a reference, an example. Alright, so on the designer part, first off, what we're going to do here is we're going to make another widget and call it category button. WB category button. Okay. Inside of here, you need obviously a canvas panel, but an image and a text block. Make sure that they are both variables. Make them the size that you want. And then I chose that color, this dark gray, at the moment. Okay. Inside the graph here, we're going to make a boolean called active and make a text variable called button text. These image and text blocks should already be variables, like I said. On the event pre-construct, just get the button text and text block, set them right here. Okay. Then we're going to do a custom event, call it set active, and then do another custom event, call it set inactive. You're going to just set the color and opacity of this image to the darker gray, and then on inactive we're going to have it be a lighter gray, and then we're going to set active to true on the set active, and then set it to false on the inactive. Alright, not too bad. Make sure you get an on mouse button down here for the call button pressed. That'll be over here in the override on mouse button down. If you did something like this, like that, that's not what I wanted to do. So we'll go ahead and delete it. Just want to do on mouse button up. Then we're going to do this call button pressed. Which will be in the WB inventory. So in the WB inventory, underneath, going back, this is where we're going to add our category buttons in. Inside of the vertical box, we're going to need a horizontal box, and then you're going to put that inside of a scale box to make it look nice and pretty. Then we're going to add in those WB category buttons, name them what you like, category misc, I had them category all usable armor weapons. I put a spacer in between them just to make them look a little bit nicer. Okay. Then we're going to go over to the graph. Oh shoot, designer. If you just go, you can get to it this way, it'll be in the event graph, but go to the on button pressed. And you're going to make one for all of these buttons. And this is where we're going to be passing in the item type that we're sorting by. So starting off with the, if we start off with all, it'll be easier. I know I started off with MISC here. But we're going to start off with all. It's more easily explained. Alright, on the button pressed for category all, it's getting the owner player pawn, getting the AC inventory component, getting the inventory, and passing that in to the inventory right here. Boom, boom. Then it is getting the item type right here. We're sorting it by none. Then we're getting that WB category button, all, and then calling that set active. And then calling all of the other buttons to inactive. And then we're just going to repeat that with everything else, but this on the other ones we're going to actually use their specific categories. Last but not least, just to make everything look nice when we open it at first, we're just going to start off with event construct with category all. So it starts off when we open the menu with it all. We don't have to press the button, and it's an empty menu. We're wondering where all our stuff is. Awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. That's basically it. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks, y'all.